Stormy, are you ready? What's on top of a house? A roof, that's right. Very good, Stormy. Now, this is a little more difficult. What's a NASCAR race car sound like? Oh, that was a backfiring race car. Good boy, Stormy. All right. Hey, kids, you know there's a bad habit you shouldn't start. It's called smoking. You smoke? Good girl.
Meet the Madcap Mutts. Tom and Bonnie Brackney have been running the Madcap Mutts for 20 years, carrying on a family tradition that dates back to World War II. At first, they used shelter animals in their shows because they couldn't afford to buy dogs. But the more Tom learned about shelters, the more committed he became to helping the cause of homeless animals.
Remember when your children were really little and they were teething and they were cranky and they cried all the time? You didn't give your kids away, did you? You thought about it, but you didn't. Well, it turns out they gave away a really smart little dog in Marty. He was approximately 7 months old when he was taken to the New York City ASPCA in New York, and the excuse was he's chewed all the furniture in the house.
Marty! That's it! I'm fed up!
In the United States, there are more than 6,000 animal shelters filled with abandoned cats and dogs. The lucky ones find new homes, but 5 million animals die in shelters every year. Marty was days away from suffering the same fate when Tom Brackney and the Madcap Mutts came to the rescue.
Stay back, you guys. Yeah. Everybody get back.
Marty is now 7, and he's been with the troupe since he was a puppy.
Get down. Good, boys and girls. Oh, yeah.
An Airedale Terrier mix, Marty has the look and the charisma that's made him the star Madcap Mutt and landed him a part in a dozen TV commercials.
He's just a great animal. He's nice looking. He's calm. He has the ability to be very, very calm and yet very energetic on command. Huh, Marty? Hey, you haven't done this in a long time. You want to hit your mark? Sit down. Stay right there. Stay.
Marty is a big, playful kid. He's not real serious a lot of times. He does do his tricks. He's dependable.
No, sit.
But if he can make a funny game out of it in the midst of doing his tricks, he will do that.
Come here, come here. Ah, good boy. You were heading for your mark, weren't you? Sit. Good boy. Pay attention now. Easy.
Even the star attraction has to put in his rehearsal time.
Look back. Marty, look back.
Although Marty seems to know the drill.
Good one.
Hit your mark, get your
All
reward.
right, Marty. Good job. Very good. Good boy, Marty.
Watching Marty and the rest of the canine cast, it's hard to believe every one of them was abandoned. Holly and Scooter were left by the side of the road. Sally's owner sent her to the shelter because she needed too much grooming. Stormy barked too much. And Minnie jumped on the furniture.
They were surrendered to the shelter because of behavioral problem. And I wish I could see the situations because it doesn't take very long to turn that bad habit into a productive one where we're all having fun and it's corrected and there's no problem anymore. In a matter of 2 or 3 months, they can be on stage somewhere performing professionally.
Hey, Minnie. Minnie, you want a jump rope? The day I adopted Minnie, she was actually standing inside the kennel, which was a 6-foot dog fence run, jumping behind the fence. So I was looking for that natural ability of a dog that could jump rope. So all the tricks that Minnie does incorporates her ability to jump. Oh no. What happened? I lost the rope. We don't need the rope, do we? Susie, she just wags her tail funny, so you make a trick out of it. Can you wag your tail like a helicopter?
Come on, Susie, get it going. There it goes.
Good girl, Susie!
We always try to look for the dog's natural ability because we realize in performance you want them to appear doing their behavior effortlessly and that it's not forced upon them. We don't want the dogs to be uncomfortable. We don't want the audience to be uncomfortable observing a dog trying to do something that's just physically not right for him.
Build a bridge, and stay there. Sally, come on, Sally. Sally, that a good girl.
Tom and Bonnie make sure the mutts look their best.
We've spent the last 3 days grooming the dogs because we have a big show tomorrow over in New Canaan, Connecticut for an animal shelter.
Every trick is honed, every hair is in place. Now the Madcap Mutts need their beauty rest because tomorrow is the big day.
Come on, guys, Holly.
The morning of the show, everyone's raring to go, except Oreo, who's not crazy about traveling with up to 14 dogs. Marty can't wait to hit the road. The Madcap Mutts are mobile.
Very good. Come on, guys.
But this is more than just show business. Every year, they travel 20,000 miles to put on shows, raising money and awareness for homeless animals at shelters all over America. In the past 2 years, they've raised $155,000 for shelters across the U.S.
Marty, good boy.
Marty and friends get one last run through. Then, it's showtime.
The next dog is what we consider our big star. Hey, Marty, come on out, buddy. Hey, Marty. Can you sit? Good boy. Shake hands. That's a good boy. Hey, Marty, where's your brain? Good boy. All right. Good boy. Hey, Marty, isn't it also true you auditioned for a Western one time? But unfortunately, he didn't get the part because he doesn't play dead very well. Bang! Oh, no. Did you get hurt? Good boy. Very good, Marty.
Marty and the Madcap Mutts dazzle the crowd, including shelter fundraiser Claudia Weber.
It was awesome. It was unbelievable. We were so happy. The whole audience was so enthusiastic to have the Mutts. We really hope that we're still counting, you have to understand, but we think we may have met our goal of $10,000. So we're really excited, and that'll help a lot of homeless animals this year.
Could you do the smoking thing?
After seeing the Madcap Mutts in action, these kids aren't going to abandon a pet. They might even adopt one from a shelter. And if they're lucky, they might just get a mutt like Marty. A girl, a dog, and a bright, quiet day in autumn. A pleasant scene, but hardly remarkable. Until one hears their story. Tasha is more than just a constant companion.
Tasha, stand up.
She's a highly trained service dog whose life is devoted to helping the disabled. Stephanie was born with multiple handicaps. Along with her many physical and learning disabilities, she also has epilepsy. Stephanie used to walk with braces, but her condition worsened and she was confined to a wheelchair. Stephanie's horizons seemed very limited until her mother Janine read about an institution that trained service dogs.
And so I thought, well, this would be perfect for Stephanie to be able to have the aid of a dog when she was in her wheelchair.
This is the Woman's Prison in Gig Harbor, Washington. The prison runs a service dog training program that's all about second chances. A second chance for dogs who often come from a shelter. A second chance for prisoners who learn to be trainers and groomers. And a second chance for the disabled.
The first time that we went out for an interview, they showed us the dogs, and they had just received Tasha. She was brand new to the program. And each time we went out, we would always say, "What about Tasha? What about Tasha?" Because our family had fallen in love with Tasha. And it was just obvious to us, a good match, you know. And the dog program director at that time kept saying, "No, Tasha's too big a dog for a little girl, just too big." And so we'd say, okay, you know, and pretty soon, well, what about Tasha? You know, no, Tasha's too big. She needs to go to a man. She's big and she's stubborn.
Tasha and Stephanie had formed a powerful bond from day one, and no one could keep them apart.
So one time when the prison was in lockdown, we went for another one of our interviews, and because they were in lockdown, we got stopped in this center hallway, and Tasha was in there with someone else, and we were in there to go back and try to get a match for Stephanie again. And Stephanie just took hold of Tasha's leash, and every single command that Stephanie would give Tasha would immediately do, and it just was perfect. This looks like a match made in heaven.
The match has lasted 3 years now. Originally, Tasha's main job was to pull the wheelchair. Stephanie has had several vertebrae fused, and it's too difficult for her to do it alone. But before long, Tasha had learned a lot of other useful skills.
Tasha, open the door.
Tasha has the capability of doing a lot for Stephanie.
Get the phone.
She
No,
is
get
able
the
to
phone.
bring the phone to Stephanie, or if Stephanie's watching television, she can bring her the remote to change the stations with.
Good girl. Hello? Tasha, take.
For Tasha, this job is serious business, although some jobs are more fun than others. But for Stephanie and her mother, the gift that Tasha has given them is the gift of freedom.
Now that Stephanie has Tasha, sometimes we let her be by herself more than what we did before.
Janine still keeps a watchful eye, but she knows that Tasha helps Stephanie stay focused on her safety.
Part of Stephanie's disability is that she's very impulsive, and one of the things that we were always very concerned about was that she would forget when she came upon a corner to look for cars. We were out for a walk, and Stephanie stopped right at the corner and started looking both ways and watching really good. And I said, "Oh, good job, Stephanie. You're remembering to watch for cars. Very good." And she said, "I have to now, Mom. I have to watch out for my dog." Just remembering that she needed to look after Tasha has helped her to remember to look after herself.
However, Tasha gives Stephanie more than safety or mobility. Stephanie is 17, an age when everyone craves acceptance, and it was Tasha who helped her get it.
When she's walking down the hall at school or out in public, instead of people saying, "Well, there's a girl in a wheelchair," they will say,
Okay, we're trying to make colors.
"Get that little girl with that dog," you know, and they will talk to her about her dog. And this is good because some people don't know how to act when they're around a person in a wheelchair. They want to speak to them, but they just don't know what to say. And so it makes Stephanie approachable.
Middle.
I'm
That
mine.
looks really pretty.
I'm
Looks like the sun.
Tasha and Stephanie are constant companions. But Tasha has also taken on an extraordinary new role in Stephanie's life. Stephanie has epilepsy. Everybody had to keep a watchful eye on her. That is, until Tasha took over. Over time, Tasha developed the ability to detect Stephanie's seizures before they happen. This is not a skill which can be developed through training. Very few dogs have it, and medical science does not understand how it works. Stephanie's seizures often happen without warning, but can sometimes be triggered when she's stressed or excited.
I see it.
When a seizure is about to occur, Tasha becomes unusually protective. She comes closer to Stephanie and seems disturbed, sensing that something's wrong.
Since she knows when Stephanie's not feeling well, she's a good barometer for us to be able to tell that there's a possibility that Stephanie might be going to have a seizure when Tasha gets real clingy.
For Stephanie, it means more security, the freedom to be just one of the kids enjoying a field trip. Stephanie can forget her medical condition, knowing that Tasha will watch out for her, regardless of the distractions around her. Stephanie is always on her mind. So is that annoying sock. What a pleasure to get that job done. But nothing pleases Stephanie more than their friendship.
She's wonderful and cuddly, like a big teddy bear. I love her.
There are times when Stephanie prefers to think of Tasha as just a good friend. Tasha is more than a friend, even more than a service dog. She turned out to be a warning dog who can predict a medical crisis. And that's much more than Stephanie and Janine ever hoped for.
When I see them walking down the street together, sometimes I think, what a great team.
It's an exciting day for dog owners here in Tokyo. This is day one of Super Dogs Carnival 2000, a canine extravaganza where ordinary pets show that they can do some extraordinary things. Some of these dogs are so good at this, it's hard to believe that they're just doing it for fun. But for one dog and her family, there's a bit more than just fun at stake. Nana's a 3-year-old Akita, a breed of dog much beloved in Japan for its fierce loyalty. Originally bred for hunting bears, Akitas can have a hard time of it in a big city like Tokyo. And Nana's had some problems. Recently, she bit a neighbor. The Uranos were told that if they wanted to keep Nana, she was going to have to learn discipline and obedience and do it fast.
それともう一つ永井先生獣医の先生獣医師さんに
Dr. Nagy, our veterinarian, told us that although Nana had bitten someone, Nana should be given a chance to go to the Happy Tail Club to be trained in obedience, so that it wouldn't happen again. So we decided as a family to transform her into a good dog.
家族で決心しました
For many dogs, agility training is just good, clean fun and a way to burn off energy. Some dogs are naturally talented. Others just can't get the hang of it. Finally, there's Nana. She's the only Akita attempting agility at Happy Tails. Akitas were bred for hunting, not for playing tricks. But for Nana, this is no game. She has to prove that she can learn and obey. Takahiro Urano feels they've turned a corner.
初めの頃はアジリティなんて秋田犬 I had doubts that an Akita dog could do agility exercises, but actually, we had many words of encouragement from other club members. They told us we should try, because Akita dogs in agility exercises were practically non-existent.
The Super Dogs Carnival will be the ultimate test for Nana. But before she hits the canine big time, the Uranos try her out at a local meet. To everybody's relief, Nana is getting into the swing of it. The big day has finally arrived. And look at these dogs. They run. They jump. They look like the Olympic athletes of the canine world. These are not things that an Akita was meant to do. It's make it or break it time for Nana. Will she prove that she's learned some obedience, some discipline? The answer is yes. Nana is putting on the performance of her life. Maybe all she needed was the right audience.
She has done a great job. Congratulations.
And with Nana's new skills, she has earned the right to stay with her family in Tokyo.